Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I didn't report on a trade yesterday. It's a very important one, actually. The Phoenix Suns acquired three first-round picks for their 2031 first-round pick from the Utah Jazz. Danny Ainge at it again. Essentially, what he knows the Phoenix is going to do is punt 2031, um, or punt anything that has anything to do with their future, in hopes of doing everything for today. So that makes that pick particularly one of the most valuable picks, in theory, that maybe will be available come that point in time. And if you look at what Utah's doing, you see them being able to accumulate first round picks at a large rate over the next 4 years, 5 years. So what you might end up seeing is in 2031, they could potentially be an NBA championship level team, acquiring the first overall pick from a team that's projected to suck at that point. So he's lining himself up to not only have a championship team, but potentially build something extremely special for years on end. That's what they're trying to do in Utah. They're not thinking about right now. They're thinking about building something OKC-ish that can last and last and last. And this is what I've been telling people for a couple of years now when it comes to the Jazz. What I think could be possible is potentially a Utah Jazz team and an OKC team that pretty much dominates the Western Conference for the next 7 to 10 years, because of what those two teams are doing in accumulating picks, from all over the NBA, from teams like the Phoenix Suns, who are only interested in today. So it's because of it, we're going to have a monopoly in the NBA on talent, and it's going to be in those two small markets and maybe a few others. So yeah, Utah did give away 3 first round picks, so that might shake things a little bit. But ultimately, they won this trade because they know that the Phoenix Suns are likely to take those same 3 picks and send them to Miami for Jimmy Butler at 36 years of age, which is more of what Phoenix has been doing, punting their future for names. And maybe have to give 1 or 2 of those picks to the Milwaukee Bucks to take Bradley Beal, who's going to also be a part of that trade somehow. It looks like he's headed to the Bucks, it seems, which kind of makes a lot more sense when you consider the Bucks such a small market team. They have a win now situation. It's only 2 years left on the deal. Giannis is in place. Dame is in place. So you can live with the idea, especially since they don't have picks and stuff like that either, that Bradley Beal could land there, help them get back to the top of the Eastern Conference. You got the great Giannis in place, so you need something to help him win at all times. A no-trade clause on Bradley Beal contract looks terrible in most situations, but when it comes to Milwaukee, it's not like they're looking to move on from him anytime soon. Before the end of that contract, they're still going to be on a win-now timeline with one of the best players on the planet attached to their team. So that makes a lot more sense to me than it being in Phoenix, where they don't really come together to make any sense. They've never won anything. Actually, they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks 2 years ago, which is why Milwaukee's a champion, and I look at them this way. But at the end of the day, Bradley Beal to me makes a little more sense in Milwaukee based on contract and how they can absorb that without it being a problem than really anywhere else in the league. So I guess for them it's okay to take him on for 2 more years on a no trade clause contract. So that's what's going on. The Suns acquired the least favorable first round pick of 2025 from Cleveland, who could win the championship this year. So that's not a very good pick. The Minnesota Timberwolves or the Jazz protected 2027 of Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah. That's exactly how this is worded. I don't think my brain is actually understanding what that means. And in 2029 of Cleveland. So essentially, they picked up 3 picks that could be either going to the Wolves with Anthony Edwards, likely a playoff team. The Jazz protected, which means it probably won't be that great if it's protected. Or Cleveland, who's a contender right now, and likely will be a contender for the next 4 years because of what they have put together, being at the age that it is, and how well it's playing this early in the situation. So those picks are not very good in first round standards of when you consider what a first round pick is about. These are not expected to be lottery picks, but what it does is create a flexibility potential for a Phoenix Suns team that desperately needs that. So Phoenix is punting 2031, but now they get picks for this year, next year, and they can send that out or hold on to it. Now, my mind tells me they should probably hold on to one of those picks and probably trade the other two for Jimmy if that's what they want to do. But I don't think they're going to do that. Based on how they've been operating, they literally act like the world is going to be gone 2 years from now. So they better go all in with everything they have. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to probably trade all three of those picks in Jimmy Butler deal that allows for them to get Beal somewhere and then get Jimmy from Miami. Make it worthwhile for both of those two teams. I think that's how they'll handle that. I haven't looked at the trade tracker to see if that adds up. Give or take some players to make it add up is what you would expect there. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at in regards to this. As far as the second pick that they're saying here, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or the Jazz protected in 27 of Cleveland, Minnesota, or Utah. It just doesn't word in a way that I doesn't speak. That's not English to me. I don't know what the hell that's like rocket science. I wish they knew how to simplify these things a bit better so that people can actually understand what the hell that is. Like, I get it. 3 picks came your way. Is a choice between the second pick of 3 different teams. But, like, it doesn't word that way. And so it's weird. And it doesn't actually come together to make any sense. So that's my opinion of what I'm seeing here on ESPN as Shams Charania is trying to explain to us what Phoenix and what Utah ultimately acquires here. But the Suns are going to go on and get Jimmy Butler. That's just utterly retarded to me, if I'm going to be honest with you. Forgive me for the R word, but it is what it is. That is just not. It's stupid, bro. It's stupid. Jimmy Butler's 36 years old. Kevin Durant is 37 years old. Devin Booker is a guy who's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And they don't have much of anything else on their team. And so they're going to bring a disgruntled Jimmy Butler who wants to be paid an absorbent amount to their situation to upgrade Bradley Beal, who's also an older player on a no-trade clause that they should have never picked up. Now they got to give up picks to get rid of him, and they're going to bring in somebody who wants an absorbent amount that they're going to have to pay that leads him into his age 40 year. I just honestly think Phoenix should be eradicated from the NBA entirely for the stupidity that they are engaging in right now. Being so short-sighted and being so hell-bent on getting names in that uniform that are not going to come together to win a damn thing. I can guarantee you, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker are not going to win the NBA championship. They're not beating OKC. They're not beating the Boston Celtics, and they're not beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. So this move effectively gives them the flexibility that allows for them to have some resemblance of hope for a future, and they're punting it away for another 40-year-old. God, they suck, bro. That is the worst organization in basketball today. I kid you not. But, nevertheless, that is exactly what they're doing. And so Jimmy's going to get his wish. He was wearing some Phoenix Suns colored themed shoes on his feet a couple days ago in Miami. So he's hell-bent on going there, and because he knows they're stupid enough to pay him. That's exactly why he wants to be there. Because they are actually dumb enough to give him every coin of what he's asking for at 36 years of age. That's the only reason why he wants to be there. So, yeah, man, that's dumb money up there, bro. And they are making the Utah Jazz a powerhouse by doing this, in my opinion. Because by 2031, when all of their valuable picks have matured and developed into whatever they want it to be, then they're going to have the Phoenix Suns pick where all these people are going to be long gone and no path to any assets that can acquire them the talent that would make them any good at that point. So they're going to have a bunch of G League guys on their team at that year. Those years are going to suck real bad, paying for all the mistakes that they're making right now. That's exactly what's about to happen. So this is a great investment for Danny Ainge. Phoenix Suns projected to be horrible in 2031. It don't have to go that way, though. They could very easily just hold on to those picks, accept it as flexibility, maybe move the picks necessary to get Bradley Beal off their team and hold on to the rest of those picks. That makes a lot of sense. If I can take one of those picks, ship it to Milwaukee, get Bradley off the team, I wouldn't do nothing else. You know, damn Jimmy Butler, are you crazy? You found a lifeline to your flexibility of the future with this trade, which James Jones was so genius in finding a way to entice Danny Ainge to give him 3 first-rounders for one. It's the flexibility that can keep you from being as bad as you need to be in 2031. But will the Phoenix have any of that? Hell no. Hell no. They need a 40-year-old to add to the other 40-year-old. So I don't know, man. I think the lowest of what they're doing, and that's it. I hate everything about what Phoenix is actually trying to accomplish there. I think it's against every bit of team building philosophy that I believe in. They are the opposite of me. So that's really what I got to say right there, man. Congratulations to the Utah Jazz, turning 3 useless picks into one golden, golden pick in the future that they're likely going to either realize as a player someday or trade as an extremely valuable pick for something awesome. Danny Ainge does things the right way, and that is what we're seeing there. So, yeah, man, that is really the end of that conversation for me. If you're a Laker fan, a lot of people follow me are. Vanderbilt will be back on Saturday against the Warriors. That was just announced. He's cleared to play full-on basketball and is expected to make his return on Saturday. So that is really good news. Of course, we got the Boston game coming up tomorrow. He ain't playing in that, but he will be suiting up to play basketball, probably in limited minutes. I mean that's standard. He will be having limited minutes, probably for about 5-6 games or something like that. But yeah, the Vando is back. So that's the news there, man. I don't think there's anything else. Of course, we're waiting the Jimmy Butler trade to Phoenix, which looks imminent to me. I mean, I don't think there's anything in the way of that now at this point. I don't think there's anything in the way of that now. You could send all three of them bad first rounders or potentially bad first rounders to Miami, and I'm sure they'll be happy to send them to Phoenix, or two of them to Miami, one of them to Milwaukee to take Bradley in that contract. I think that makes Milwaukee a lot better on the offensive end. I think defensively they're going to be as horrific as they've ever been. Bradley Beal and Dame Lillard, backcourt, awesome on the offensive end, turnstiles on the defensive end. They ain't winning nothing. Don't worry about Milwaukee Eastern Conference. They ain't winning nothing. But they are getting Bradley Beal, so they get to feel like they're good enough to win something, and maybe that's all they need. Try to keep Giannis from getting the hell out of there very soon. But that Bradley Beal contract, how it keeps getting moved is amazing to me. I don't know how it keeps getting moved, but somehow people are finding a way to talk themselves into bringing this player and that no trade clause onto their team. I don't know. But this just goes to show the NBA is always going to find somebody willing to do something that doesn't make any sense, no matter what. So that's what this tells me, man. The NBA is being run backwards. Half of these teams don't know what the hell they're doing, and that's why all the young talent over the next 10 years is going to be in either Utah or OKC. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.